साइलेंट पे है बजट पे
Namaste, good evening, shalom, and buenos dias. This is Dr. Shishir Prasad from Dehradun, Uttarakhand, India. I'm working as an associate professor in Uttarakhand Ayurveda University, Gurukul campus, Haridwar. First of all, dear friends, I would like to thank the Jigyasa which have given me this opportunity to be present amongst you and share my experiences with Marma Chikitsa. Thank you, Vinitji, and thank you all the organizers of Jigyasa for giving me the opportunity to be here before you. The topic of my discussion today, as I said, is Marma Chikitsa, and especially in relation to stress, because we all know that in the current scenario, the world is actually going through tough times. We have had a major pandemic, and it is quite known from previous experiences that these kinds of pandemics or epidemics then in future could cause several other diseases because it has been shown through various studies that the stress leads to several other disorders, for example, anxiety, depression, uh, even low back pain, diabetes, hypertension, and obesity, fibromyalgia, irritable bowel syndrome, and cardiovascular diseases, and many diseases which are actually caused due to excessive stress. So it is imperative that we try to take care of this before it aggravates further. In this relation, the Ayush Ministry have already given us some very good protocols, have also released a yoga video, and they are quite good. And I would urge my audience to look after those as well. The the talk here is regarding stress management and how we can help ourselves with Marma Chikitsa. Marmas are also considered as a very ancient Indian science. Also, it was considered as a secret science, and not many people basically knew about it, or those who knew could consider it something very sensitive, and that is why it was known more to the Rajvaidyas. It was more prevalent in the southern Indian parts by the term Varmam or Varmam science. In present era, the stress in the present situation, basically, everyone, health workers, the essential service providers, the police personnel, the people in quarantine, and in general, people who are in lockdown situation are basically feeling the pinch of it. So this is one of our efforts to help those in need. And what I am going to do today is share my experiences with management of stress by some simple marm stimulation techniques. In Ayurveda, when you talk about Ayurveda has also mentioned about various methods of dealing with psychological disorders, because Ayurveda, in the very shloka of health, Ayurveda has said that sam dosha samagnishya sam dhatu malakriya prasannatmendriya mana swastitya vidiyate. So the concept of mana was quite prevalent or quite well known to our acharyas. And when talking about treatment of psychological disorders or mental disorders, then they have made certain protocols and described about different ways of dealing with such situation. the term Janpadodvans has come in Ayurveda, which actually means kind of epidemic or pandemic. I will not be going into too much into the details about the terminologies which have been used, but it is just in reference that Ayurveda also has talked about epidemics. Coming back to the topic today regarding Marma Chikitsa, basically we need to understand some of the introduction about it. Marmas have been described in detail by Acharya Sushruta. Charak has also discussed about Marma, but he has done more elaborate description of three main marmas. Although Charak has also said that there are 107 marmas, like Sushrut, like Acharya Vagbhat, all of them have said that there are 107 marmas. Sushrut has basically divided it into five subtypes and given a broader description in detail, like anatomical position, what could happen if these marmocytes get injured. Basically, Sushrut has mentioned in the context that the the marmas are the site which needs to be protected while performing surgeries because they are the seat of prana. It is mentioned as Teshu Svabhav eva pranaha tishtanti. By nature, the prana resides in this area. So, since they are the seat of prana, we have to be careful while performing surgeries and not injure them. Any kind of severe injury could lead to fatality. Okay. Similarly, Sushruta has defined it in the marmas in relation to which kind of structural involvement or predominance of the structural involvement. He has again classified into different types, which are Mans, Sira, Snayu, Asthi, and Sandhi. Mans is that which is more muscular. Sira is that which is more vascular. Snayu can be said to be more ligamentous or tendinous. Asthi is that which is more bony, and Sandhi is joints. So we need to know when we are practicing marma therapy or marma chikitsa, it is very important that we understand which marm is of what type. Until and unless we understand the importance of these, we will not be able to properly stimulate them. Okay, or if we stimulate them, we can exert overpressure or over stimulate them, which could result into some complications. So it is important that we have to understand how to stimulate a marma. There are several ways basically in which a marma point can be stimulated. Some people can do it with like Reiki. Some people have like pranic healing, the transfer of energy. Some people can do it with magnetotherapy, because basically marmas is an energy dependent science and it is basically a energy therapy, right? So there are various ways in which marmas can be stimulated. We are doing it with the help of our hands, because Sushruta has said that our hands are the best instruments. So better use our hands to stimulate the marma points. Also, the hands, when connected to the skin surface, skin is considered as the largest sense organ, and it is also there are references in Ayurveda which says that the skin is directly connected to mana. So when we are stimulating the marma point and by the help of our hands to a patient, we are directly connecting to ourselves to the patient's psyche. Okay, so we are using it with the help of, we are doing the stimulation with the help of our hands. There are various other people who are using it in different ways. I'm not saying anything against them or not in favor, and what I am saying is how we are doing, and this is what I will be discussing here. So coming back to the marma points, we need to know which marmas to stimulate for stress management. Okay, we are stimulating the following marmas. Those are apang, avart, sthapani, adhipati, vidhur, ans, Chipra, and Talahriday. So these are the major marmas which we stimulate in the same sequence as I said. Okay, I will repeat once more. Apang, Avart, Sthapani, Adhipati, Vidhur, Ans, Chipra, and Talahriday. As we go on, I will be explaining all of these marmas one by one. Many of the marmas in supraclavicular region are Sadhya Pranhar marma, right? Sadhya Pranhar is one of the classification of marmas. It is said that severe injury on those marma points can result into fatality, right? And among those, Sushruta has talked about Shingatakani, Adhipati, Shankau, Kantha, Siragudam, Hriday Vasti Navicha, Sadhyo Hatanidu. Right? So these are the names of the marmas which are Sadhya Pranhar, and many of those are in supraclavicular region. Supraclavicular region is also the site of prana. So these marmas control the prana vata, and also some of them are in the neck region. So they also control udana vata. So now I will discuss about each marmas one by one. It is very important to understand that basically what is happening in stress. In stress, there is a triple F response or overactivity of the sympathetic nervous system. And if we could help produce relaxation response, we will be able to benefit the patients. And it has been shown through various energy studies that if the energy points are properly stimulated, it causes release of certain opioids, which are pain inhibitors and like endogenous opioids. And it has also been shown that there is release of serotonin, so that controls again the GABA inhibitory neurotransmitter, okay, and producing a relaxation response. So there have been some studies in with the energy science, and several biochemical tests both in blood and cerebrospinal fluid. So coming to Apanga Marma. Apanga Marma is basically two in number, both on the outer side of the outer canthus. So this is the outer canthus. So we go one finger breadth behind the outer canthus, and just one finger breadth behind, you find a slight bony depression. So that is the site of Apanga Marma. But this is a vascular marma. So we have to be very careful not to overstimulate it, and very gentle amount of pressure is to be applied. When we talk about pressure application, we do intermittent stimulation. It is not a continuous pressure. It is like press and release, press and release. Now I'm going to show you basically how we do with the help of the index finger, like both fingers here. Just go behind. This is the outer canthus, and one finger breadth behind. You find a bony depression, and just close your eyes. And with the help of the index finger, you press gently and release. This is very soothing to the eyes also. One press and release will take approximately 3 seconds. And in one day, it can be done 2 to 3 times in a day. Better morning and evening. So this is 15 times a day. Press and release, press and release gently, both the fingers together, in the manner in which you are trying to meet both the fingers together. That should be the direction of application of pressure. Very gentle pressure. When you keep your finger here, you can actually feel a slight pulsation. So this is a Siramarma. That is why you feel certain pulsations here. Now the second one is the Avartamarma. The Avartamarma is a Sandhi Marma. Okay. So the method of identification of Avartamarma is if you identify the mid of the eyebrow, keep the thumb tip on the mid of the eyebrow and apply pressure laterally. Okay, apply pressure laterally. But if you have applied some oil or some cream on the face, this should not be done, because what happens that if you are applying pressure after application of certain lubricants, then your hands tend to slip down and can injure the eyeball. So you have to be very cautious not to apply pressure when there is some lubricant. Also, it is important that the direction of pressure should be backwards and upwards, not downwards. The direction of pressure should not be downwards. The direction of pressure is backwards and upwards, like this. Left eye, right hand, right eye, left hand. Okay. Right. This is to be done 20 to 25 times in one sitting. 20 to 25 times in one sitting. 2 to 3 times in a day. One press and release will take approximately 3 seconds. Right. So now we proceed to the next one, which is the Sandhi Marma. Sthapni Marma. So Sthapni Marma is again vascular marma. Before we go on to the Sthapni marma, it is important to understand that what are the doshas which are controlled by the Avartamarma or Apangamarma. Some books say that they are connected to the Alochak Pitta. Now I will go to the Sthapni Marma. The Sthapni Marma, what you have to do is you make your finger like this, okay, and hold at the root of the nose. This is the root of the nose. So you put your finger like this and hold it here. Here it is not a kind of intermittent pressure. Right. Here it is, we hold it like 7 to 8 seconds. Concentrate your energy on the fingertips and try to focus your energy on the fingertips. Then transfer that energy to your Sthapni Marma. This is a very important marma because this is directly connected to the Agya Chakra. It controls the Prana Vata. So, like this. Better to close the eyes and do it, right? For 7 8 seconds, keep holding, then gently remove the pressure. Very, and then again do it. Okay, remove the pressure for 2 seconds and then again stimulate. This is to be done for 2 minutes. So for 7 8 seconds, you keep pressing, gently remove, and then again for 7 8 seconds, you apply gentle pressure and then remove. And when you remove, you don't have to remove your hands fully. Okay, keep touching the skin surface. It is better to chant a mantra inside if you know any mantra. If you don't know any mantra, then what you can do is just keep anyone whom you have faith in. You keep it in your heart, and then you try to stimulate this Thapni Marma. Okay, so this is to be done for 2 minutes. Then the next one, which is the Adhipati Marma. The Adhipati Marma, the method of identification is you have to put your finger, thumb here on this Thapni Marm and extend the middle finger back like this. So it is basically very near to the Brahmarandra, right? It's very near to the Brahmarandra. So you make a finger, put your thumb on this Thapni Marma and then extend the middle finger backwards like this. The point at which you reach with the middle finger, that is the Adhipati Marma. Okay. The method of stimulation of Adhipati Marma is you can just close all the fingers together, all the 5 fingers together, and put it here. There are basically two ways in which you can do it. Here, you don't need to apply any extra pressure. Just putting the weight of your hand is sufficient to stimulate it. You can do either this way, or there's the other way is just hold your head like this and close these two fingers, the middle and the ring finger. You put it here like this and just touch. No need to apply any extra pressure. The touch is sufficient. Here again, in the same manner in which we were doing this Thapni Marma, it is not important that the intermittent pressure to be applied. What is important again is to just transfer and focus your energy on the fingertips and try to transfer the energy on the Adhipati Marma. Adhipati Marma is said to be directly related to the Sahasrasara Chakra. Again, I will show. So you put your thenar eminence, both the sides, thenar eminence near the temporal region, and with the help of the middle and ring finger, you put it on the head like this, near on the Adhipati Marma, and just touch and chant some mantra or whomsoever you have faith in, and try to transfer this energy here. These are all very soothing because we have patients, if we are doing it properly, many of the patients tend to sleep on table. Then the next one will be the Vidhur marm. So the Vidhur marm lies near the mastoid process. Okay, the Vidhur marm lies near the mastoid process. Just behind the ear, you can feel the bony prominence. Okay, this is not a siramarm. It is a snayu marm, vacuolar snayu marm. Right? So a moderate amount of pressure can be applied here. Again, I will show you how to do it. The, or first, how to identify. So this is the bony prominence. Okay, and you put the pulp of the thumb on the bony prominence and slightly and some part of the thumb on the depression area. Make your fingers like this. Okay, close all, make it like a fist, and the thumbs like this. Okay, and then press both of them together. Here it is not a continuous pressure, it is an intermittent pressure. Press and release, press and release. We must be careful not to apply too much of pressure here, because sometimes if you exert extra pressure, then there can be giddiness or dizziness. Okay, so in that condition, the patient should be asked to lie down, and Trendelenburg position should be given, or slight raising of the leg should be done, and then the giddiness will go. Okay, or if the patient is very sensitive or have some implants in the ear, or CSOM, like perforation in the ear, then we should not be doing this. Right? It can be done both in all the sequence can be done both in sitting posture as well as supine posture. It is basically better to do it in supine posture. If somebody else is doing on you, it is better to do it on in supine posture. However, I will definitely say this, that this should be done under medical guidance and expert advice. So I will repeat once more and show you how to first identify the Vidhurmarm and then how to stimulate. So this is the bony prominence that you see. Okay, this is the bony prominence. I'll keep the pulp of the thumb here on the bony prominence like this. Okay, like this. So the pressure is applied in such a way that the pinna moves slightly forward. Like this. So again, 20 to 25 times in one sitting, and 2 to 3 times in a day, better morning and evening. The next marma, we come to the next one, and which is the Ansa marm. The Ansa marm lies near to the point where your neck touches the shoulder. But here it is important to know that we do not apply pressure exactly at the site at which the neck touches the shoulder joint, but 2 finger breadths away from that. Because again, if you are pressing too close to the neck, then there are certain vessels passing through, and it can result into hypoxia if you press too hard, and you again have dizziness and giddiness. So you should be very careful not to press very close to the point where the neck joins the shoulder, but 2 finger breadths away from it. The method of identification is not difficult, and you can do it as I'm going to show now. Just hold your flex your elbow and clip it close to the chest like this. Okay, and make a approximate, this is mid axillary line, so you make a approximately 45-degree angle with this. With the help of the middle and index finger, you place it like this, right? So here, once you reach the point, don't go not like this. Okay, don't go close, not like this, but away like this. From here, from this point to the sternal notch, you make an imaginary line and apply pressure in that direction. Press and release, press and release. Better to fold the other fingers so that you don't touch the other structures passing through the clavicular region. So you have to fold the fingers, make this with the help of the middle and the index finger. You put it here and then apply pressure from here to here, making an imaginary line. When you are actually doing it and trying to apply pressure from this point to this point, the actual direction of pressure will not be here, but it will go somewhere in the midline of the body. So like this. One one by one. Don't do the Ansa Marma, both of them together. It should be done one by one. Okay, it should be done one by one, never together. This marma is set to control Udana Vata. Similarly, the other one, you can do both of them one by one. Complete one 20 times in one sitting, and then go to the next. It's not like you do five times here, and then you do 5 times here, and then again 5 times here. No, you do one sitting, complete this stimulation of one point, and then again. Okay. Now I will come to the next one. So far we have discussed about Apang, our Sthapni, Adhipati, Vidhur, and Ansamarma. The next two, which are in the hands. If the stress leads to certain other problems like fibromyalgia or also low back ache, okay, so in that condition, some of the leg marmas have to be stimulated as well. But if you want to practice as a general, then you have to do these marma points. This is what I am doing and I am sharing. It's not necessary that you have to do, but it is just my experience that I am sharing. So the Chipramarm, lies between the index finger and the thumb. So if you make a finger like this, and this is the webbing, you go 2 finger breadths behind, right? So from the webbing, this portion is 2 finger breadths behind. And I can draw a small dot here just to realize this. This is a very important point in other pathies as well, and people are using it quite often. But what I have seen is that when stimulating it, we apply pressure slightly towards the thumb instead of directly applying pressure downwards. Okay. So once you have identified the Chipramarma, you make your index finger like a hook and place it on the thenar eminence. So this is the thenar eminence area. If you don't put it in this area, otherwise you will not be able to stimulate properly. Put the index finger here, and then the thumb on this point, like this. Okay. Here it is important that we know that some of the books say that the Chipramarma lies on both the dorsal aspect as well as in the palmar aspect. So when we are putting our index finger like this, so we are stimulating both the sides of the marma point, right? So now I will show again. Once you have identified, put the index finger here and the thumb like this. Apply pressure slightly towards the thumb. Again, press and release, press and release. One press and release will take 3 seconds. So one murmur stimulation takes approximately 1 minute and 15 seconds altogether, like this. Don't put, there's no pinching is to be done. Okay, not like this. The thumb surface should be parallel to the skin. It's not like this, but like this. Keep your arm in such a way that you are holding a glass. Okay, if you keep it too straight, then the muscles become too stout, and then you'll not be able to properly assess it. So it's very important that we keep ourselves more in a relaxed position, like, okay. Now this was about the Chipra Marma. Chipra Marma is set to control the Prana and Vyanavar. So it's a very important marma. Also, we are using the same marma in some cases of uh, headaches, and also in some cervical spondylitis or frozen shoulder patients, we are using the Chipra marma as well. So it's a very important marma to be to learn. When I'm talking about marma stimulation, as I'm just showing you all about the marmas in relation to stress management, but the same marmas can be used in other ways as well. In other ways, meaning uh, in other diseases also, they can be used, right? Then now coming to the last of the marma point, and that is the Tala Hriday. Tala Hriday marm. Talmhidamarm lies uh, just two finger breadths below. There are basically four Talhridamarmas, one in each hand and one in each foot. So four marma, total four Talhridamarmas are there, and even Chipra there are total four, one in each hand and one in each leg. So now we come to Talhridamarm. So this is the, as you can see, this is the middle finger. You draw a line straight like this, okay, and measure two finger breadths down from here, from the base of the middle finger. From, and the line has been drawn from the outer side of the middle finger. From the outer side of the middle finger, and then you measure two fingers like this. So this will be the, so this will be the site of Talahriday Marm. Okay, so once you have identified the marma, once you have identified the marma, you place four fingers breadth in the back, and with the help of the pulp of the thumb, you just press it downwards. Press and release again 20 to 25 times. So if you talk about generally, then most of the Sira marmas we do 15 times in one sitting. And other than the Sira marmas like Mans, Snayu, Asthi, and Sandhi, they we generally do between 20 to 25 times in one sitting. So again, Talhida marm coming like this. Again, don't put your fingers like this. Okay, no pinching is to be done with the help of pulp of thumb. So the overall process that you see, they are very simple steps, right? So if the overall time taken is hardly 10 to 12 minutes, that is the best part with marmotherapy. And we have basically divided marmotherapy into two types. One is the simple self treatment, and the other is the elaborate clinical therapy. Elaborate clinical therapy is for those who are doctors and treating more of the complicated cases. Then for them, it is an elaborate clinical therapy, and understanding the doshic predominance, and based on the doshic predominance, we decide which marmas to be done in which diseases. The simple self treatment is that which uh, people can learn. In general, in our practice, when the patient comes to us, we teach them 3 to 4 times at least, and ask them to come every week once or every fortnight once after we have taught, right? So you can understand the benefit of this, because it can be taught to anyone. Of course, not in the first sitting itself, a few sittings are required, and then the same patient can the patient can do it on themselves to give therapeutic results. So that is the advantage. Also, low cost, and we have seen some very good effects of mammotherapi, and various other uh, doctors are also now practicing uh, in different parts of India and abroad. Now I think I will be taking questions, because we have time around 15 minutes. So I will be taking questions. If you have any, you can put here in the comment box. Yes, the sequence is right. Anisha Dinaz has asked me a sequence. Apang, Avart, Sthapni, Adipati, Vidhur, Ans, Shipper, and Talhriday. Yes, the sequence is right. Isha Suri wants me to repeat the Avart Marm stimulation. Alochak Pitta, Apang Marm, and the Avart Marm. One more marm is related to Alochak Pitta, and some books have said, and that is the Kurch Marm. So first, the Isha Suri's question. You put your thumb, the tip of the thumb, on the middle of the eyebrow. So once you have identified the middle of the eyebrow, you put it like this and apply pressure on the lateral aspect. Do not apply pressure on the medial aspect, right? Do not apply pressure on the medial aspect, because there's a notch through which some vessels and nerve come. So if you apply pressure directly here, it, it can result in complications. So don't apply pressure in the medial aspect. It's like on the lateral aspect, like this. And the direction of pressure is backwards and upwards. So from this point, you make an approximately 45-degree angle. Do not apply pressure downwards. If you apply pressure downwards, then the chances of eyeball injury is there. Which, okay, let me see the questions once again. So, which dosha? Sthapni marm is related to the pranavata. It is better to, the question is whether to sit. Yes, it is better to sit in a relaxed manner. You can sit in Padmasana, and maybe before doing this, you can do some anulom vilom pranayam to make yourself more relaxed, and then do it. Apang marm, yes, related to alochak pitta. Frozen shoulder is not the topic of discussion today, but frozen shoulder, we do 4 marma points. Chipramarm, also called Angushtmul. What the terminology that I am using here is given by Acharya Sushruta. So that is the terminology which we are using. Chipra Indriya Bastya Katika Tarune Brihati Chaya Nitambavati Chaitani Kalant. So Kalantar Harani. So that is the terminology which Sushruta has used, and we are using that terminology. The palm needs to be relaxed while stimulating the Talahridaya Maram. Yes, the palm needs to be in this in a relaxed manner, like you are holding a glass. You keep it relaxed. Keep the wrist slightly flexed. Don't keep the wrist like this. Okay, keep the wrist slightly flexed, just like you are holding when you are holding a glass. Is there any course Maram Chikitsa? That is actually Professor K.S. Dhiman, sir, the DG of CCRS, is the head of the committee which he has formed, and the committee will be deciding about that in the times to come. There are many questions like different other diseases in which we can do marmas or not. Yes, we are doing in other cases as well. Pregnancy, it should be, you should avoid it initially, right? Also, it is better to avoid in cases of some, if for initial people who have already had implants, like stents in the cardiac, so for those people you should avoid it. Deep vein thrombosis, you should avoid it. Okay. Janu Marm is treating arthritis. Please ask me questions related to the session today. And we are using Janu Marm for osteoarthritis knee patients, besides three more marmas for that. For headaches, the marmas which I have said, for migraine headaches, we are using those marma points which I mentioned in during the session. Yes, we can do this in cases of anxiety as well. Okay. Manibandh can play a role in stress management. I'm not doing Manibandh for stress management. Some people who they are doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm doing Manibandh Marm for uh, trigger thumb patients or carpal tunnel syndrome patients. Srinivas Nayak is from Nimhans. He gave me a very good feedback. Is from Nimhans. He's a physiotherapist, and he is also now working with Marma therapy. And he gave me a very good feedback that since he learned last year, he's getting good results in cervical and radiculopathy and lumbar radiculopathy. People are asking me differences between acupressure and marma chikitsa. So basically, acupressure is based upon the meridian system. Our marmas are based on the chakra system, and they are not too many. Acupressure points are very there are a number of acupressure points in the body. For example, in the eye, there are around 17 acupressure points. In the hand or in the leg, the more than 100 are there. So it's not easy to identify the acupressure points. However, the concept of both acupressure and marma are similar, right? But marmas, you can say they are larger energy channels, and there are not too many, so that you can identify. You have the anatomical positions given by Acharya Sushruta, so they are easily locatable. One of the questions asked more often is, since Sushruta has said that the marma's marma injury can result into certain complications, then why are we stimulating it? So, so this is one of the questions that I'm asked often, and the answer to that is we are not actually giving any injury to the marma point. We are just trying to stimulate it in a gentle manner for the better flow of a prana, because they are the seat of prana, right? So they are also easily affected when there is a disease. In even in general practice, you are we are always applying oil on the head, so there are many marmas in the head, so we're not causing any injury to them. You are doing shiropichu, okay, so you are stimulating a marma point there. We are doing hriday basti, we are stimulating the hriday marma. We're doing Janu Basti. We are stimulating them. So in several places, the stimulation of marmas have been mentioned by acharyas. So we have to use our yukti to understand, or to uh, to use it for the benefit of our patients. Tala Hriday Maram is good uh, in relaxation response. I think this is about most of the questions that are there. And if there are more questions, they can put it on the Jigyasa page, and later on, I'll be able to answer them. Thank you all. It's a great pleasure. And thank you, Jigyasa, for organizing once more. Before I go, I would like all my audience to please download the Arogya Setu app, because that app gives us very accurate data. And also in stress management, even various scientists are saying that we should not be watching too much of news channels 2 to 3 times in a day, just to be abreast with what is happening is quite good. And whatever information we need to get from for the current situation, the Arogya Setu app gives us exactly that. So please download the Arogya Setu if you've not done already. Thank you all.